Hello, everyone. Welcome. We're excited that you're joining us. It's day 7 of our 10-day challenge. And today we're going to be talking about something super exciting, which is our establishing a Hawaiian Hui. Yay! And I'm just going to do a little bit of a review. And you're probably wondering, those look like the same clothes from day 6.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, Teresa is on her way to Hawaii tomorrow. So we wanted to make sure that we got the content out to you. So just reviewing, remember, every day is building on each other. So day 1, we talked about establishing a strategic alliance, which is awesome. Day 2, we learned about issuing private currency. And the reason you want to do that is so that you can get started in your business with no debt. Remember Disney dollars. Think about Disney dollars, gift certificates, things like that. Day 3, we talked about creating a referral network and not referring the way that most of us think, which is give me, give me, give me, but instead going out and giving referrals to create future value. Day 4, we rolled up our sleeves and Teresa got on the board and she taught us about hard costs versus soft dollars, or hard dollars versus soft dollars. And we were learning how to use soft dollars to our advantage. Again, remember, all of this is building on itself, on each other, so that we can help you grow your business as well as get you to business mastery. Day 5 was one of my favorite days because we talked about the power of crowdfunding, and we used Jay Abraham's book on how to get the money that you need for everything, including startups, your startup idea, starting your business, great idea, and expanding your business. And we use a very awesome concept out of here called crowdfunding. And we got an opportunity to dive into that. And we learned a lot about Teresa's background with crowdfunding. Great. So that was awesome. And then yesterday we talked about, or earlier today, we talked about helping a merchant grow their business. Right. So we talked about how we can help a merchant grow their business in several different categories in 5 different ways, but really basically using the 10-10-10.
Beautiful.
And
10% of increase in sales, 10% in increase of volume or your average sale, and 10% in
frequency
and how often your client buys or the company that you're interacting with purchases. That alone can double your business volume. And as an intern, helping them do that, they would see enormous value for the $10,000 they put up to get you to business mastery.
Excellent. And now today we're going to be talking about a Hawaiian Hui. So I'm super excited to hear this content because that is like one of the places that I dream about going back to Hawaii. I talked to Teresa about that. And so she's going to share with you what that means in your communities.
When I got married, we went to Hawaii on our honeymoon. And so after going to Hawaii on our honeymoon, it was absolutely magic. And I always wanted to go back. So not only have we been back, but at one point we had bought lots and lots of properties in joint ventures. A joint venture is kind of like a Hui. And so that's where I learned the word Hui. Hui means a
joint venture.
Collective. A collective
Right.
of people that are like-minded or have similar passions or some association. That's a Hui. But it's a cute word because it always makes people ask,
what is a Hui?
It's a great marketing leverage. And so, but when you get to Hawaii, there really is a difference in consciousness. There really is. The locals and the natives and the Hawaiian heritage, there is a whole different way of being when you're in that environment. It is more of loving, compassion, and what the state of aloha is. And I don't mean the state exactly, the state of Hawaii. I mean the state of aloha. Aloha is honoring the spirit within you with the spirit within me. It's an extraordinary concept, especially in business. And they even have on the books, on the laws, the Aloha Law. So go look it up. It's kind of cute. course, all of the attorneys in Hawaii think it's corny. But in any event, what is a Hawaiian Hui based on Teresa Moore and her business? So one of the things that I did when I first started teaching women programs is I was teaching how to invest in the stock market before the stock market of options. Option has just came out, and they just deregulated where your information for trading came from your brokers. But when they went digital and everyone could get the information of the price and how much it moved and news all at the same time, well, the market went wild. And I started teaching my teens how to invest in the stock market. And I made a rule, because I homeschooled them, I made a rule that you can't go out until after 3 o'clock. So they were home all day with me. And after 3 o'clock, what happens? The rest of the kids come home, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they couldn't be out on the streets doing things. They had to stay home. And we had this great little home environment, a Hui, my family. And so I started teaching them investing in stocks. And then there was this woman who said, can I come? And I said, sure. In fact, a lot of the parents said, who's teaching me this? How to do a put, how to do a call, how to do a bull put spread, all those things. I was teaching that. Story for another day. In any event, I will get to it. And so what happened is one of the women said, look, if you come to Hawaii, if you come teach in Hawaii, I'll put you up. So I started teaching investing to women in Hawaii. And we would do it in their home, in the ocean crashing, and it was beautiful. And so that's what brought me back to Hawaii. So in the end, what I started to do is put little homes or homes together where we would broadcast in and I would teach. And we'd have a little Hui, a collective of people in their homes. And I would connect it with video and internet before it even existed. So we were streaming before the technology was there, and we would haul cameras back and forth. But I then started to expand to other countries because that was my vision. If I could have little Huis all over, all learning the same stuff, then that would be my dream job. And so that's what a Hawaiian Hui is. And so when we talk about the Hawaiian Hui, it's based on the idea of my home and your home. We did some amazing things. We would do house concerts, and I'd have the artist in my home here, and then we'd open in my home in Hawaii. And pretty soon we had homes all over. And then we started to trade our homes. So I traded my home, a penthouse that we had in Waikiki, with someone who had a home in Biarritz, France. I always wanted to go to the south of France. And so we traded for a month. That was exciting. And so Hawaiian, or the Hui, Hawaiian Hui, is the name of the business that I started to set up, which Tony's now mastered with his virtual. But there is something else that goes on. When you come into a home with a group of people and you stay there, whether they're in Europe or whether they're in Scotland or in China, or you start to create what I call a world without walls. And you get to learn the nature of the community and experience. And so that's what a Hawaiian Hui is for my business. It's called the More Wealth Network. And it's being able to teach people how to turn their home into what I call a healing home, and how to create this environment that we feel when we're in Hawaii. Beautiful flowers, things growing. You experience all these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you get to even my very first crowdfunding project is fund my Pele property. And Pele is the goddess that brought the islands to their existence. It's a Hawaiian goddess. Well, that happens to be the name of the street that the apartment's on. So you're going to see for crowdfunding, you're going to see how to fund your home with crowdfunding. And I'm going to put my first Pele home as the example of how to fund a home. And I have that little home set up as my healing home. And so I can now teach virtual around the world how to have access to a healing home in Hawaii. And I tell a little story. So let's see, questions. So one of the things that I did as Airbnb started coming together, and after we had that experience in trading our apartment, our penthouse in Hawaii for a penthouse in the south of France in Biarritz, that is where the kings and queens stayed, Biarritz, France. Then I started participating in different networks like Airbnb, but instead of Airbnb where you rent your home out and collect cash, I started trading and belonging to networks where we traded homes and we got points. And so I'm going to introduce you to a home exchange environment where there are 500,000 homes around the world where you can exchange points when that is assigned to your home, and you don't have to do a direct exchange. You can now build your points and go anywhere in the world where these homes all belong. The nice thing about that is when they come to my home, I have $1 million policy. It costs me $150 a year. So anywhere I go, if I do anything in their home, my $150 covers my policy. So now I've created a whole nother income source of generating points in your home and converting those points into other values. Just like I said, gift certificates or exchanging gift certificates with someone's goods or service.
Okay.
I'm going to show you you don't have to own the home, as a renter, as a homeowner, or someone who just has a bedroom that they want to exchange, how they can build points and travel anywhere in the world. That means if I want to host an event like this, or my growing event, or my house concert, anything, I can host it in a home anywhere in the world. And it costs me, what does it cost me?
Points.
No cash, cash-free real estate. I don't even have to own a home. And that is my healing home and home exchange model that I call the Hawaiian Hui. Now you have a dumbfounded look on your face. And I say that not as a derogatory statement, but I want you to know everyone puts that face on when I say home exchange. And it's a really complicated concept, but yet we're going to break it down to very simple. So the best way to do this, and why we did this one pre-recorded, is I did not know how to handle 100 people dumbfounded faces. And so, because it's so foreign, isn't it? But yet it's not.
It isn't, in a sense that we know, sorry about that. We know of Airbnb because we're used to it, right? We're used to, okay, I need to go and stay somewhere, so I'll just go to an Airbnb. So we're used to that. Like when I went to Malaysia, we stayed in an Airbnb.
And it cost you about $400 a night, right?
No, it wasn't that expensive, but
it cost you the price of a hotel or more, right?
It was a little less than a hotel, but what I'm saying is I'm used to that. So I'm just trying to understand.
So now imagine this.
Yeah.
If I gave you points because I'm doing an alliance with you, and in exchange for something, I give you points. And so now instead of having to pay for Airbnb, you could go into a home anywhere in the world with those points for people that have their home available on home exchange.
Okay.
Now, if I were to do a crowdfunding project, And I wanted to have a gift that I could give someone when they pledged $25,000 to help me fund my Pele home, which is going to be my home exchange property. They gave me $25,000 into my crowdfunding, and I gave them $50,000 in guest points to use anywhere in the world.
Yeah, but those points, how did you accumulate those points?
Well, that's what I teach. How do you accumulate points? I can't teach it in 15 minutes, can I? But that's what a Hawaiian Hui is. And that's what my More Wealth Network is how to exchange points for, and I'll send you some videos. I send you little YouTube videos. And the process, I'll give you some examples. The home that I stayed in for, well, actually the home that I'm going to tomorrow is a 5-bedroom home on the Kahala golf course. That's the golf course sitting on the edge of Waikiki next to the Kahala Mandarin Hotel, where the presidents and actors come and stay. They have a little dolphin lagoon, and it's right down the street. And so I'm going to stay there because I have accumulated points. And you could bet I probably have 10 ways to accumulate points. I will teach a class on how 10 ways to accumulate points. Points cost you what? Nothing. If I can show you how to accumulate points and whether you use them, I'll give you an example. So I teach how to grow. You've seen my vegetables for juicing. And I'm going to teach a 10-day program where you can come and learn how to grow them, how to juice them, and experience the effect, and learn how to cook healing foods. And we broadcast in from wherever, virtual, where you're in my living room and I'm in your living room. And it includes your accommodations. You just pay for the class. So I can have someone go anywhere in the world, pick where you want to go, and I'll provide the accommodations with my points, and you just pay for the class. Did I just convert my points to cash?
Yeah.
So it's just another way, just like a gift certificate, right? Or what were some of an alliance? It's another way to exchange. Yeah. Making little coins that are worth something. Would I take jewelry for my points? Absolutely. Okay, because I love jewelry.
But see, now this makes more sense.
It's very complicated, isn't it?
No, this makes more sense of more of a conversation we had earlier about having people come in because they could pay for the class, but you can use your points and that can convert it to cash. Now I'm understanding more about the business model behind what we're talking about because more information is being shared.
Well, it's just like I can have a title and it means nothing. And even though I use referrals, it wasn't what you thought referral was, right? And even when I said, create your own currency, and I said, oh, gift certificate like Disney dollars or a little coin. Even the little coin is a little foreign, but at least you trusted me that, well, that's interesting, right? And you've now experienced that I back it up with solid information, right? Experts in those industries. And I read so fast that I'm going to take you through content so that you'll go, yep, it's true. You demonstrated that, right?
So what on this particular thing, what we want to show them is how do they do it? Like, right, they want to know, okay, we piqued their interest enough that they're going to want to do it. So how do they do it? So is that going to be another whole?
That's my trade secret. No, that's
so okay.
It's kind of like that. Again, that's my business, More Wealth Network, networking businesses and people all around the world. And would I make that information to get available for people that come into my Hui of home exchangers? Absolutely.
Right.
Would I make money? Could I make money 10 different ways? Absolutely. Could it be a value added to someone going to business mastery? Could it be a value added?
Of course.
Let me give you an example. Give me a gift certificate and a, see that gift certificate? It says gift certificate. Sorry. All right. So I have a little book that I could fill out like a checkbook. I have a gift certificate, or I have a letter that says, we're going to give you this, right? And so these are 3 different ways that I can do an exchange. And then we have those little coins, right? 4 different ways that we can do that. And that's called private currency, right? And so what we have now, we're talking about, instead of a hotel, you have a hotel, you could have Airbnb, and now you can have home exchange.
I got it.
What are we talking about? With hotels, you have X amount of cost unless you join a resort program, right? And with the Airbnb, you have homes around the world, and the homeowners list their amount, and they have different services, right? And you pay for it. You can pay for it online. You can travel just about anywhere, right? And now I'm saying, and we have another one. Instead of Airbnb or a hotel, or even a vacation retreat, whatever those are called,
Timeshares.
timeshares, we now have something that's called home exchange. Now, let me show you how you could use it in the bigger picture of our 10 programs. The question should be, how do I join home exchange, right? The home exchange is just like a gift certificate of part of my network. That's the part I will put on a board when we actually teach the part of how do I use it. The bigger thing is, let's see, you know how to make up some gift certificates, right? So don't remember, it's a 15-minute intro class. And we also know how to use the gift certificate as a perk or added value. And now I'm going to show you how you can use home exchange as another tool in your business. And that tool, how do I get that tool? That should be the question. What are the rules with home exchange? Anyone can join if they have a home, a room, or if they own a home, or they rent a home, or they have a room. Anyone can join. Okay. And the next thing is, what does it cost to join?
Well, I saw that.
6 months, $75 for a year. That's to cover the insurance if anything gets broken or any problems. $150 if you come in for the year membership. And that's really for your insurance. Other than that, you get a little website, you post your stuff, and you open your calendar, and people start exchanging. It's that simple. It's just like joining Airbnb. No money changes hands. And what you do with the points is just like what I would do with a gift certificate if I want to do an alliance or a referral or a perk or host somebody in my, not even in my home. Do I have to host it in my home?
Yeah, that's the question.
Isn't that exciting? I can take someone to a beautiful home in Hawaii. I'm going to take some of my interns into my home that I'm going to on the golf course for the business mastery.